mean, it means a great deal to me. I feel passionate about the NHS. Obviously, I've been working in the NHS since I left school, since I did my A-levels, really. I feel it's not perfect, that's for sure, but I suppose in a nutshell, if you're seriously ill, the NHS is the place you really want to be, and NHS is the place, the people you want to be looking after you. My first memory is when I started as, even before I started as a student nurse, in actual fact. I worked in psychiatry in a big psychiatric hospital, and on my first day I was given a white coat and asked to sit in with someone having sort of alcohol treatment, basically, which was, it was a thing called abreaction. It was stuff given to some, it was an emetic given to people that makes you vomit if you have alcohol. And the patient was given the emetic to drink and then given his favourite tipple, which he knocked that back. And then I sat in a side room with this man vomiting and crying and screaming for about the next 3 hours. I was terrified. Everybody else was really calm, and I was completely, I thought, what have I done? What have I let myself in for? So that was my very first NHS memory. My early childhood, I lived abroad. I lived in Germany and in Malaysia, so I was so when I came back to the NHS, I suppose really it was just about going to the GPs as much as anything else. I didn't ever have any hospitalisation until I was about 16, when I had my appendix out. I suppose that was the next one. In 70 years' time, I think the NHS, or I hope the NHS, will still be around. And I think that's because the country feels so strongly about it. I'm not convinced it's going to be in the same form. I think there's probably going to be a lot more private medicine. And I think that will be almost like cherry-picking private medicine. I think for things like acute illness and trauma, I think the NHS will still be at the fore, or I certainly hope it will be, but it'll need to be much better funded. I love the NHS and I love free healthcare. I think they go hand in glove, really. I'd have to say I've used private medicine when I needed a minor procedure done on my hand, and it suited me completely to have that done because I wanted it done when I wanted it and where I wanted it done. But by the same token, about 12, 14 years ago, something like, I had a heart attack which really shook me. I mean, completely out of the blue, and not a typical heart attack person. And it was really weird. My own colleagues were looking after me, and I mean, without it, I'm sure things would have been very different if I hadn't had the NHS behind me. And the thing that really brought it home to me is that regularly I used to go on medical teams to Romania, to Transylvania, right in very dodgy parts of Romania, and the worrying thing there was if I'd had the same event happen in Romania outside the NHS, I wouldn't have been here to tell the tale, I'm sure.